The closure of Masinga Dam due to low water levels is going to impact the lives of Kenyans across the country. Water levels at the dam have dropped below the operating minimum of 1,037 meters. The dam has been operating below this level for the last 3 weeks, and although the power generating company estimated the power shortfall arising from the closure to be 14 megawatts, experts say the country was already facing a deficit of up to between 80 and 144 megawatts, a situation that threatens to plunge the country into total darkness. The government has been on a search for an emergency power producer to add 100 megawatts to the national grid. Given that diesel-generated electricity is more costly, manufacturers and individual electricity consumers should brace for higher bills. But the large consumers, majority of whom are local manufacturers, want the government to come up with contingencies to cushion them against high costs.
We want the power, that's right, but at the same time we want to have power at a lower cost. And therefore it may be that the government will have to bear this increase, whatever the increase, so that we actually get power at the same cost. We just cannot afford an increase in power cost today.
Our prayer from industry has been that government must ensure that there is no disruption to supply. So in our view, it is important and critical at this point to ensure that alternative sources to replace this 14 megawatts is purchased immediately.
The consumer is likely to bear the brunt. Electricity costs will go up as the country resorts to diesel-generated electricity, and the cost of manufactured products is likely to shoot up also. The upsurge in electricity cost is also expected to affect the competitiveness of the country's manufactured goods in the international markets and locally.
This would improve importation of finished goods, and we want to keep our jobs. And in order to keep our jobs in Kenya and make sure that Kenyans still survive under this crisis situation, I think we need to have no increase in power cost.
Expensive power translates to increased costs in other areas. Now, if the price of oil, it hit 70 yesterday, if the price of oil continues and we're going to be relying on oil, it basically means we're using more expensive sources to generate our power.
The government has asked manufacturers to switch to hours during which electricity demand is low, such as night. But the move may have little effect, as many of the manufacturers consume electricity continuously for 24 hours. The dam, the largest in the Seven Forks project, which generates 47% of Kenya's electricity, may be reopened if anticipated short rains perform well. However, in a best-case scenario, Kenya should prepare for increased costs of living until December. Muraya Kariuki, KTN Prime.